So just over a third of the final completed. It's Mayfield from TEBO, from King, from HARA, which, and once again, small mistakes being made have great consequences. John Hindhaugh and Nick Daman watching the first two there for a moment in our camera shot. It's been a very interesting opening third to this race, Nick. Pit stop strategy playing a part. A very long race here, 1 hour, and I've got to say the top four have been the class of the field. It is remarkable, John, because we are used to seeing in these long events somebody or disappear in the distance.
Yeah, makes a break for it.
We can't quite see it yet, but if you had a wide angle lens, all four cars will be in it. They're actually by about 7 or 8 seconds so far in the top four cars, and they're all on slightly different strategies. I think we're waiting for it to unwind. But certainly Mayfield is leading. I'm not quite sure if TEBO's second overall. In fact, TEBO's now leading.
TEBO's leading now
as Mayfield makes another mistake. This has been characteristic. This is not necessarily what we expect to see of world-class drivers here in the Neo Buggies. But that said, we've mentioned this before, but for those perhaps just joining us in this long race, it is a very, very challenging track indeed, and the track conditions are changing throughout the race, have done all week. The track is taking a massive pounding from the machinery, and all of the drivers, I wouldn't say they've been complaining about it. There's been 1 or 2 eyebrows raised, but that said, they are enjoying the challenge. They're relishing the challenge, and what we have got is it has very much brought the cream to the top of the surface. You've got the best drivers at the front. Now, I think the thing that's hard to see is that Mayfield nips back again. Some of the ways, it looks like they're making mistakes, but the point is, there are so many different cambers on there, John, that it's difficult to see as TEBO comes in again for another stop. Now, TEBO typically has been the first of the lead 4 to stop. He's not getting quite as much mileage out of the Orion engine that he's got in the Kyosho, but he's played that tactic very well, generally speaking. He's been pretty quick on his in and out laps, and he's managed to avoid traffic. It's a safe tactic as well. You get more power and less chance of a flame out if you run the car richer, so it's a safe tactic for him there. And just ahead of him is HARA, and ahead of him is King, so the top 4 now are divided by a pit stop effectively. Yeah. Is there a chance he could save a pit stop? He might have to do 1 more pit stop rather before the end of the race, and the other 3 could save one. Absolutely. Because at the moment, 6 seconds for a pit stop, which is about what you lose. I mean, that's the difference between first and fourth. No, he is now on a strategy to run 1 more pit stop certainly than King and HARA. Mayfield is pretty similar, but may get one back towards the end. It's not like you can mess around with the mixture easily once the car's been set up. Once the buggy's been set up for the race, not like in full-size racing where you would have maybe in some forms of racing a boost knob or a mixture knob. Now off camera, Mayfield's made a mistake because he's got TEBO right up his backside effectively, and HARA as well. So it's now that's the top 3 within a couple of seconds of each other. Coming towards us now over the infield technical whoops. And that. Just bad luck, bad landing. It's not bad driving. That's top 4 now in the same frame, which is fantastic. Now, remember though, they're not necessarily on the same pit stops as we're getting the shadows just lengthening a bit now, Nick. And again, worth pointing out that means the track surface, the temperature of the dirt and the concrete infill that is in there, it's going to change. We're going to get different conditions again, and once again for the next maybe 10 or 15 minutes it's going to be a bit of a voyage of discovery. Absolutely. I mean, whilst we are in Thailand, which is famously really hot, this week up until today has been mainly cloudy and not massively hot, but today 7 degrees more than it's been before, and we've got sun, so they've got completely different conditions on a track which, as you say, John, he has patches in shade, in sun and concrete with different levels of grip for both the surface and the actual tyres. Going past the pit complex on that long right-hander and into this sweeping banked right-hander, you can see from the start of the race the guys are having to feather the throttle now. They're not able to go full throttle past the pitch, which they were easily doing before. They're beginning to lose rear end grip. I think that all the tyres are now half the race old. They are worn down to lesser extents. They're going to have the cars drifting, and more likely they're going to start getting understeer, oversteer, depending on which end has gone first away. And they're having, you say, be very careful. We saw a 3-second drop in the semi. I expect to be a 5-second lap drop in this final. Yeah, between what Nick's talking about there is between the pace at the beginning and the end, as the tyres quite naturally take the just getting the grip and the power of the 3 horsepower motors through the 4-wheel drive. It's going to take its toll. And again, look, you can see these leading drivers beginning to slide the car. It's absolutely noticeable there. Well, that was flat shot. Harry Flatters through that right-hander early on, and now it's a big lift.
Yeah, and they're also taking a bit more careful around that top corner. I think that's got dug out. Well, King's now got ahead of Mayfield, so King, I think, is now leading this race from Mayfield. It's very hard because these cars are landing so hard, they're bottoming out. So for a while, you get a bad landing, you've actually got no steering, John.
Yeah. And there's nothing to do really other than get off everything and try and let the buggy settle itself down. This is the battle for the lead, believe it or not, as we're halfway through this final, and there's still, you know, Mrs. H wouldn't let me put the house on any of the top 4 at the moment because there's just no way to call it.
I have to say, in a car-to-car battle, Mayfield looks the best. He seems the guy who can get past. I'm not sure whether he's got it when he's in the front, but he's the only person who's making clean attack.
He's very decisive when he goes for a pass. Look again, sliding, backing the buggy in there under the brakes as the marshals putting one of the buggies on from further down the field. But you can see that Mayfield, when he does have to make a pass, he's very decisive and very clean, Nick, it has to be said as well. Although he's under pressure now and he's having to defend through that infield hairpin. That's a very nasty camber there, very easy to lose. The back end into it and the front end out of it.
King is pushing him really hard. King seems to be happier following than leading, John. He's got that ability, you know, where you get yourself sucked up by the person who's coming in front of you and gain quickly. He's pushing hard now. He wants the lead, even with half the race to go.
Yeah, and you saw there, just got on the power a little bit early. The front end of his Kyosho just washing out a little bit. Had to put extra lock on, and again, that's going to put strain on the tyres. And that is, I know that sounds ridiculous that we talk about this in an RC race, but this is an hour long, and like any form of racing equipment, these machines, as the leader goes over.
That was pushing, not unlucky. I think he's and again,
come on, concentrate.
Rhythm, and there's HARA straight back up again. The guys in 3rd and 4th are just outshot. They are. It's not a 2-horse race; it's a 4-horse race, and you make one mistake and you can drop 3 places.
This is a phenomenal contest, and as I was saying about the tyres, you know, these are racing machines. They're built to do what they need to do, and no more. There's very little in that. So the tyres, you know, you don't want a tyre that's going to hamper you. You want it to give its best performance for as long as it can. But then, if it basically falls apart as you cross the checkered flag in the old Colin Chapman style, then that's fine. If it does 5 more laps, Colin Chapman would have told you it was over-engineered. So this is the battle now for 2nd position, Nick. Yeah,
in HARA, again, he's getting close, but I think HARA is playing a more tactical role. He's not looking to fight. He's happy to live in a bit of space.
And there he goes over. HARA's over there.
Possibly, maybe he's still suffering from that stop-go he got oddly. He wants to be careful he doesn't touch anyone. But there we go around again. And look, Cody King made a slight mistake, and now we've got 1st and 2nd back with each other. And that's TEBO who's now got behind King. So you see, you miss a couple of seconds, and someone comes straight through, and TEBO's rolled. And there goes Mayfield into 2nd. So that's 3 changes of lead in 2nd place in 2 corners.
Now that is not a pass for position. That's yellow and red buggy.
That's Adam Drake being very sporting. Like
that's very good.
Pre-race favourite just had a disaster on the finals day, I'm afraid. He's had some big problems with his engine and having been cutting out, I'm afraid.
Yeah, poor Adam Drake only just scraped in, didn't he, in 12th position as one of the fastest 2 losers from the 2 semi-finals, and he was very, very downhearted coming to this final, and you had the feeling that although he'd made the final, possibly his mental state was not in the right place to go.
He was the pre-race favourite, has to be said, and Losey with the pre-race favourite, and they've had problems. Kyosho again, who've got an unbelievable record in... and Mayfield's flamed. The leader has gone out.
Oh my goodness me, and in a race that is so tight, this could be curtains for Ryan Mayfield on the AE with a ringing engine. Look at how much time is just going down the plug hole at the moment. He gets and he's still not there. Oh, this is disastrous.
That was a slow restart, and he's lost that. I'm afraid Ryan, who I think has been the most impressive driver in the final so far, John, that's it. Unless the other 3 also flame as well, which I can't see happening, he's out. But so it's King now from TEBO with HARA in 3rd, but it's now a 3-horse race.
Yeah, Mayfield, we were just praising him, weren't we, for his ability to overtake, but now he's got so much ground to make up that effectively he is out of it, and that is a terrible news.
2 years work, John.
Yeah, absolutely. World Championships biannual.
And a very big fat bonus we won as well.
Oh, look at this again. Well, good news for us and for the neutrals is that we've still got the top three in one camera frame. There's the leaders, there's the third place driver as well, and this is far from over on that technical infield section. And this could well be, you could be looking at a 20-lap club sprint here. They're so close.
TEBO then landed on HARA and managed to not lose so much. King, the big winner out of that accident. The second and third took each other out. This time, though, it wasn't HARA's fault. The guy was already crashed when he hit him.
Indeed. Kyosho Orion leading them for Cody King, the American driver. And for a moment, he's got a bit of breathing space, but we've seen that any relaxation, any lack of concentration, and a buggy ending up on two wheels or on its roof, you lose 2 or 3 seconds and you're back in the pack again. Looks like it's a 3-horse race now. Any 3 though for the positions on the podium.
As HARA pushing through some of the back markers, they're pretty good. They're pretty good letting through, but sometimes you just need to not wait that extra corner, because that extra corner is 2 or 3 seconds. Now, TEBO seems to have dropped a bit off the back of this one. It now seems that he's got perhaps beginning to suffer from either tyre choice or maybe he's taking a breather, which you can do in these long races, John.
Well, it's like any form of endurance racing, isn't it? It's about pacing yourself, and speak to someone like Alan McNish or Tom Christensen who drive for Audi at Le Mans. Sometimes they do quadruple stints. McNish certainly has, and that's over 3 hours behind the wheel. And there has to be a point where, however supremely fit you are, however at one you are with the machinery, you've just got to take a little bit of a blow, even if it's for a lap or 2.
King looking in control now.
He's impressive, isn't he?
I think perhaps he's now got a big enough breathing space where he's not being hassled by HARA. I can't see in the whole time. We've lost. Is that TEBO? That's TEBO's flamed as well.
TEBO's flamed.
Oh, perhaps he wasn't settling. Perhaps he had a problem and he's now flamed. That's
and again, look, that's had to come from the far side of the circuit. The marshals have done well to almost relay through it in baseball style, and the pit lanes. Look at the resignation there, I'm afraid, from the pit crew.
And here comes HARA in for his last stop.
ATSUSHI HARA then in for his final pit stop, and he's down and away.
And he's in second place, and if he keeps going, he won't finish any worse than second. And there's our current leader, Cody King, who's got with that pit stop, who's got about quarter of a lap, half a lap on HARA.
Well, what a change around there's been, but there's plenty of racing still to come from the World Finals here in Thailand. Under 7 minutes to go in the World Final here in Thailand. Cody King is our leader by just under 20 seconds, but he owes us a pit stop, and he takes it now, and this really could be the race here. He's got time in hand, Nick, to be honest. ATSUSHI HARA is just loses a little more time than he needed to there. HARA is back behind him. He'll have lost probably about a third of his lead, but really he hasn't got anything to worry about.
HARA there. HARA's gained a lot more than that during those breaks, John. I think he must have had an off-camera accident, because HARA's only, I think, about 5 or 6 seconds back.
Well, that is impressive. I didn't think that Cody King would be under that much pressure. HARA has put a really good run together in the middle and the end.
He saved himself, he saved the car, he saved the tyres.
What have we been seeing all the way through? It's not about how fast you are at the beginning, it's about what you've got left in the tank, in the tyres, and in yourself, in terms of not only your physical fitness but your mental acuity. After now, nearly 55 minutes of the hour gone, and Cody King is under a bit of pressure now.
This is all about pressure, John. Either of these drivers on their own could drive laps fast enough to get to the end and win. HARA is going to try and hunt him down and try and force mistakes.
It's been a battle of the top 4 for most of this race, with Jared TEBO and Ryan Mayfield at various times leading the race but falling by the wayside through the middle portions of the race. And it's left us now, well, I was going to say, down to just Cody King to stroke this home, but that is far from how it is with ATSUSHI HARA, our pole qualifier, the hot shoe on the hot body with the OS engine, the Japanese driver, local to this circuit, knows it like the back of his hand.
I think King's tightening up. He lost about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds in that lap. I think.
Is that HARA behind him?
It's HARA behind him.
That's HARA behind him.
Really quickly. I think HARA's got the bit between him. King has suddenly realised I can be world champion. HARA's been world champion, and that counts for a lot when it comes to pressure.
Is King going to choke on this one? He's now, oh, well, look at HARA, he's eating huge lumps out of the leader. And it's not just seconds per lap, it's almost seconds per corner now. And ATSUSHI HARA has target acquired, and he's hunting down CODY King in the lead.
This is quite the most exciting rallying control race I've ever seen. It's amazing. With 57 minutes in, there's only 3 or 4 minutes to go. HARA can take back-to-back world championship, or King has become an unlikely but very popular world champion. But he's tightening up, John. He's definitely tightening up. Little mistakes. HARA, speed everywhere.
Now, he's got a problem now, King, because it's clearly, to me, he doesn't know what to do, whether to push and risk all or to be conservative. And the problem is he's backing off. He's backing into trouble. And look at HARA now. We've seen him getting the power on earlier and earlier. And look at the way the car's swirling around, and he's using all the skill that he's got left. He's half the lead in 1 lap.
Driving masterclass from HARA. He's basically gone, I know it's risky to push in this circuit, but I can either come second and not push, or I can win the world championship again, and he is going for it. King, what can he do? Is he going to go consistent? He's just tightening up.
You can see though, Nick, he's taking the corners like 50-pence pieces, not in nice, long, smooth swoops now. He's putting a lot of steering input in, little movements all the time. That's going to be hurting those front tyres. It's going to be hurting the amount of grip. He's made a mistake. The lead is gone, and HARA goes through. CODY King is broken. He's choked under the pressure, and HARA's gone through. At least HARA now goes, oh, he's gone over. HARA's gone over, and he's given the lead back to King. But now, can King keep his head together? What a moment that was. ATSUSHI HARA took the lead, and he's still there, Nick. This is not over.
We've got two or three laps to go, and HARA, amazing. Let's look at this again through, John.
Yeah, the leader just clips the inside of the infield hairpin. HARA goes through. That's a clean move. You can see him there straight away on the power. The front wheel scrabbling for grip. Now, what happened on these infield whoops? Oh, he singled it. He singled it when he should have been doubling it, and that put the buggy out of sequence. And then in trying to block the inside, I think he just hooked up a little bit too early. Now this is back to live, and this is first and second for the World Championship, and King has got HARA right with him in his wheel tracks. There's nothing between them as they go on to complete another lap around past the very big and appreciative crowd here. All the drivers have stayed on who've been driving this week, and there's a fantastic atmosphere here, and HARA hits the same point on the track that cost CODY King the lead just a couple of laps ago. Has CODY King now got enough? There's traffic ahead of them as well. There's traffic ahead of them in the check. Oh my goodness me! HARA's binned it.
I think that's it. I think. Oh
no! Again, any chance has gone now. CODY King.
Lap and a half to go. I can't believe this, John. That's unbelievable.
CODY King must have it now. HARA has played the big stakes game. He's put it all in. He's gone all in, and I'm afraid he's managed to throw it all away, and CODY King comes round on what now is a demonstration last lap of the World Finals here in Pattaya in Thailand. What a culmination to a phenomenal week of racing, and CODY King, second best qualifier, will be, I've got to say it, Nick, he'll be a popular victor, but he would have been a big outside bet at the start of this week, an unlikely, somewhat unlikely world champion. I think it's gone over, the leader's gone over, but he's very lucky there. He recovers in time to come through. Well, what a couple of years it's been for this young man. He's been pretty impressive on the North American national scene and worked his way through. It wasn't exactly CODY who when he came in, and there's another mistake, but I think he's got enough to hold on to it now. I'm looking back, and HARA has eased off. As I say, it wasn't exactly CODY who, but there was a lot of people who didn't know this very much about this young man as he comes through for victory, and we have a new world champion in the offing. CODY King from the USA on the Kyosho Orion.
Just tagged the extra lap there, John. He probably didn't want to do that. I think both him and HARA made the lap.
Well, I thought that was over.
They've just clipped through without.
Oh my goodness!
He's got 1 lap to go. He's going to clean this. He lost a bit of that penultimate lap. Now there's
that HARA behind him.
That's HARA behind him. There's still a chance if he makes it clean. He's fine. He made 2 mistakes last lap.
Well, this is drama right to the very end. The time expired, and I was giving him the race there, but he went across the line before the hour clicked over. And that's just extra power, extra pressure. And look at HARA. HARA is giving it everything, but there's not enough time in the checkered flag. And now we can say CODY King is world champion. Hats off to the young American.
Oh, what a fantastic race. The victor, the spoils. What a marvellous performance there. even down the penultimate, and well, that's the face of a gallant runner-up, a superb performance from HARA, but just too short. There's Dallas from IFMAR and Charlie, who runs the event, handing over the chain. Ted Longshaw, one of the original founder of IFMAR and EFRA, comes from Bromley, actually.
There's Jared TEBO congratulating the new world champion. Scotty's getting in there for an interview as well. TEBO in third, ATSUSHI HARA in second place, and our new world champion is CODY King. And let's get down to Nick Daman, who's making his way down there.
Well, to sum up this fantastic Father's Day, I'm joined by the king of the entire universe and the world, Phil Mawson of 8th Buggy, and the man who I'm surprised can even breathe, let alone talk after that one, Scotty ERNST. Now, Scotty, coming to you first. I've been going through my mind, that was without doubt the best radio controlled car race I've ever seen. I think it was the best car race I've ever seen. How about you?
It was absolutely amazing. A 60-minute final on this most difficult track any of these guys have ever faced or ever raced on. The preparations, the countless laps that they took here in practice all came down to that 60-minute, and it was the most amazing race. And it's amazing. On this track, 60 minutes, it came down to car lengths for the last couple 3 laps between CODY King and ATSUSHI HARA.
2.5 minutes to go. HARA got in the lead for 50 metres. And then I thought, oh, that's it. King, the young guy, he's going to lose it. But it's HARA whose heads went.
It is. It was HARA. He had to push. He made a slight mistake. CODY was able to get back by, and HARA was just pushing his maximum, as he always does. A little mistake, gave about a 5-second gap, and CODY just cruised the last 2 laps. It was impressive.
Let's hear from HARA there about the problems he had.
I have nothing problem for cars. Just have many mistakes compared to CODY. So seems like last time I won in the North Carolina. I had no mistake, but a little bit too much exciting at the final. So I pushed too hard, I think. So
you gave us a fantastic race.
Right.
What was it like driving? How exciting was it up there?
Like I cannot feel anything like my body. Like only looking at the cars. That's it. Like I cannot feel any bodies. So it's me like I think so much exciting in my body.
With 2.5 minutes to go, you got ahead for about quarter of a lap. And you must have thought, oh, I could be double world champion.
Yeah, I never give up. So I just try until before the finish line. So I push hard, I make a mistake, and this CODY deserved for the winner.
Well, we've heard from the runner-up. Now let's just talk about, before we hear from the winner, let's talk about a couple other instances. We had an early lead for Ryan Mayfield and problems he felt, Phil.
Yeah, it's a bit of a disappointment. I think he was really feeling the track, but you know, at the end it's a 60-minute race and your equipment has to hold, and there's a little bit of luck, and today Mayfield wasn't lucky.
And the other person who was very unlucky was the pre-event favourite, Jared TEBO. He had a flame out, he had some problems, he actually told us about some of the other problems he'd had with his setup.
I'm not, you know, mad or sad or anything, you know, just a little bummed, you know. I was trying to catch up there at the end. I just drove too hard at the beginning and just roasted my tires off pretty much. My fronts were slicks 20 minutes in, and had a little too much brakes, a little too much front brake, and just roasted my tires. There was nothing I could really do, and then I probably would have finished third anyways, so the flame out really didn't hurt nothing. I don't know if I would have been able to race with those guys.
So we lost TEBO, which was, I think, a big surprise, because even though he hadn't started too well, he was keeping pace, wasn't he?
Yeah, definitely. I think, I mean, it was ebbed and flowed in the whole final. And by the time we lost TEBO, it was down to 2. And I mean, TEBO really was the pre-race favourite, so it was a bit of a disappointment. But still, we had a fantastic race.
Now, I'm going to have to ask you, because you're American, who's CODY King?
CODY King, driver from Southern California. He's won podium many times. He's won many local races in California. Made the A finals 2 years ago in Charlotte, and he was one of the bottom qualifiers in the A final. And he's just put in 2 hard years. His dad and him, countless practicing, a great team, and they got the whole package right here in Thailand. It was just a stellar drive from CODY.
And if you want to know how much it means to win the World Championship, here's CODY.
Dude, I can't even explain. I went into it just, you know, wanting to be consistent, do clean laps, and 5 minutes to go, I realized I could be the next world champion. And, you know, HARA, he of course made it tough. He's one of the best in the world, and I did everything I could to hold him off. I had that one crash at the end, and I mean, he crashed over the big jump in the back, and when that happened, I just took a deep breath and I just did the last clean laps for a few more minutes.
Yeah, I mean, the emotions you must have had in those last, what, 6, 7 minutes. He was hunting you down, he was ahead briefly. How do you drive when you're with that much emotion?
I mean, unbelievably, I wasn't that nervous. I mean, I just kept my head in it and knew that I needed to have those last few laps. And, you know, it was always my dad telling me, you know, stay in the moment, don't expect it to be it until you're crossing that finish line. And that's kind of what I did, and it worked. I didn't really get nervous very much at all.
Well, that really almost finishes the most unbelievable week here in Pattaya in Thailand, but I'm going to ask both of our incredibly expert guests for one memory from the week, and I'm going to start with Phil. Phil says I don't get enough time to think, so I'll start with you. What memory are you going to take away from the entire event?
Probably, well, to sum it up in one, that's going to be tough. The organization was spectacular. The amount of drivers, the difficulty of the track, and a couple young superstars. You got CODY's done well, but Kyle McBride from Australia, 14 years old, made the top 5. That's quite impressive for a young Australian.
Now, I think Phil was probably going to say Kyle McBride. He's been mentioning him all week. But so, what's your one memory?
I think I was waiting on the driver's stand for during the last 2 minutes, and it's just CODY's incredible reaction of just, you know, positiveness and happiness, just winning. Threw his hat out and just unforgettable.
In your wildest dreams, did you expect to be champion today?
One day, not. I mean, I knew I had a good shot at it, but I don't even know what to say. It hasn't even hit me yet.
Well done. That's what I say. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for our coverage of Thailand, these fantastic World Championships. Join us next month for more EFRA European Championship action. Comes from Bromley, actually.